Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of US 5-cent coins, as some of these coins are rare and can make you rich overnight. In this video, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we have a very exciting episode as we uncover the secrets behind one of the most sought-after coins in American history, the 1964 United States 5-cent coin. Now, we're all familiar with the classic Jefferson nickel. But what if I told you that this coin, which many people simply throw in their pockets or spare change jars, could actually be worth a small fortune? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might be looking at your change a little differently. Let's set the scene. The year is 1964. The country is in the middle of the tumultuous 1960s, a decade of social change, political upheaval, and cultural revolutions. The U.S. Mint, while working to meet the needs of an ever-growing economy, was busy producing billions of coins, including the iconic Jefferson nickel. Little did they know that some of these coins, small, unassuming, and often forgotten, would become incredibly valuable decades later. Now, let's talk about the design. The 1964 Jefferson nickel carries the same design that has been gracing this coin for decades. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States. Jefferson is known for his pivotal role in American history, most notably for authoring the Declaration of Independence and his leadership in expanding the U.S. territory with the Louisiana Purchase. Below Jefferson's portrait is the inscription Liberty, along with the year 1964, and the national motto, "In God We Trust." Flipping the coin over, the reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's iconic estate in Virginia. The image of Monticello has been part of the nickel since 1938, and it's a symbol of Jefferson's legacy. The reverse also includes the words United States of America, the denomination 5 cents, and E pluribus unum. So, what's so special about this seemingly ordinary 1964 nickel? It all comes down to rarity, errors, and condition. Over the years, these factors have turned this coin from something you'd toss into your pocket change into a collector's dream. Let's start with rarity. While the 1964 Jefferson nickel wasn't minted in particularly low numbers, it's important to remember that coin production is a continuous process. A coin that has survived for over 50 years and remains in pristine condition is already a rare find. Most of the 1964 nickels you'll find today have been heavily circulated, worn down, and are no longer in mint condition. That's why collectors are on the lookout for well-preserved examples, especially those that show minimal wear. But condition alone isn't what makes a 1964 nickel so special. The real treasure lies in the minting errors that occurred during production. Coin errors can make a seemingly average coin much more valuable. One of the most desirable errors in the 1964 Jefferson nickel is the double die error. This happens when the coin die used to strike the nickel is misaligned or not properly set, causing the design to appear doubled. If you're lucky enough to find a 1964 nickel with this error, the doubling might be visible in the date, the word Liberty, or even in the motto, "In God We Trust." These double die coins are incredibly rare and can be worth thousands, sometimes even tens of thousands, of dollars. Another error that can make the 1964 Jefferson nickel valuable is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not perfectly centered in the minting press. As a result, part of the coin's design may be cut off or appear misaligned. The more pronounced the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin can be. Some collectors specifically seek out these types of errors because they're so unique and visually striking. In addition to double die errors and off-center strikes, another anomaly that could make a 1964 nickel stand out is the clipped planchet error. This happens when the metal planchet, the blank piece of metal that's struck to make the coin, is cut improperly, leaving a portion of the coin missing. These clipped coins are incredibly rare, and collectors prize them for their odd appearance and unique history. Now, let's talk about proof coins. In 1964, the U.S. Mint also struck proof nickels, which were specially made for collectors. Proof coins are different from regular circulation coins because they're struck with extra care using polished dies and highly polished planchets, resulting in a mirror-like finish. The 1964 proof nickel, with its clean, sharp details and flawless surface, is a favorite among collectors. If you happen to have a 1964 nickel in proof condition, it could be worth significantly more than a regular circulation coin, even without a minting error. When it comes to value, condition is everything. Coins that have remained in uncirculated condition, meaning they have never been used in daily transactions, are far more valuable than those that have been passed through hands, worn down, and scratched. The highest quality 1964 nickels are those that retain their original mint luster without any signs of wear or damage. These coins are graded by professional services, with the highest grades being MS-65 or MS-66.SO. What does all this mean for you as a collector? If you have a 1964 Jefferson nickel in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine it carefully for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, or other minting errors. If your coin is in pristine condition, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. And if you find a double die or off-center strike, you might have a rare treasure on your hands. Now, I know you've been waiting for the big reveal. So here it is, one very rare 1964 Jefferson nickel, featuring a stunning minting error and preserved in near-perfect condition, was sold for an incredible $79,000. Yes, that's right. $79,000 for a single nickel. Can you imagine stumbling upon one of these hidden gems in your coin jar? It's enough to make you start checking your change a little more carefully, isn't it? Top 2, we have an exciting story to share about a coin you might not think twice about when you see it. The 1975 United States 5-cent coin, also known as the Jefferson Nickel. While this might seem like just another coin you'd find in your pocket change, it actually has some incredible potential to be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you might find yourself eyeing your old coin collection or even digging through that jar of loose change. The year 1975 was a pivotal time in American history. The nation was dealing with economic challenges, political shifts, and the final years of the Vietnam War. At this time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing millions of coins to meet the country's needs. Among these coins was the humble Jefferson Nickel, a 5-cent coin that has been circulating in the U.S. for decades. The design of this coin had already been around for several decades, first introduced in 1938, but it was in 1975 that certain versions of this coin became valuable beyond imagination. What makes the 1975 5-cent coin so special? Well, it's all about rarity, minting errors, and its condition. The 1975 Jefferson Nickel was minted in large quantities, meaning that finding one in circulation today is not particularly rare. However, there are certain factors that can make a seemingly ordinary 1975 nickel incredibly valuable. Let's start with the rarity factor. Although millions of these coins were produced, the 1975 Jefferson Nickel, like any coin, was subject to the wear and tear of everyday use. Coins that have been heavily circulated, with their edges worn down and designs faded, aren't particularly valuable. However, if you're lucky enough to find a 1975 nickel in pristine condition, you may be holding onto something special. Coins that are in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, with no signs of wear or discoloration, are much rarer and more valuable. What sets certain 1975 nickels apart from the rest are minting errors that occurred during the production process. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the striking of the coin. These errors can make a coin unique, which is exactly what collectors love. Some of the most sought-after minting errors in the 1975 Jefferson Nickel include the double die error, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets. Let's first dive into the double die error. This is one of the most famous and valuable types of errors a coin can have. Double die coins occur when the design of the coin is struck more than once, and the second strike is slightly misaligned with the first. This results in a doubling effect on certain areas of the coin, which can be very noticeable. In the 1975 nickel, you may find the date or the word Liberty showing noticeable doubling. A 1975 nickel with a prominent double die error can fetch a pretty penny at auction, making it a highly desirable find for any coin collector. Another error that can make the 1975 nickel particularly valuable is the off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly centered in the minting press. The result is a coin that is misaligned, with part of the design missing or cut off. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. For collectors, these types of errors are highly sought after because they are so unique and visually striking. If you happen to find a 1975 nickel with an off-center strike, you could be holding a coin that is worth far more than its face value. In addition to the double die error and off-center strikes. Another minting error that can occur is the clipped planchet. This happens when the metal disc that is used to make the coin is improperly cut, resulting in a portion of the coin being missing. Clipped coins are rare and have an unusual, irregular shape, which is part of what makes them so intriguing to collectors. A 1975 nickel with a clipped planchet is a true rarity, and collectors will go to great lengths to acquire these unique specimens. Now, let's not forget about the importance of proof coins. In 1975, the U.S. Mint also produced proof Jefferson nickels for collectors. These proof coins were struck with a higher level of care and precision, resulting in a sharp, mirror-like finish. Proof coins are always more valuable than regular circulation coins, but a proof coin in excellent condition, free from blemishes and imperfections, can command an even higher price. The most valuable 1975 Jefferson nickels are those that not only have minting errors but are also in exceptional condition. Coins that have been kept in mint condition without any signs of damage or wear are highly prized by collectors. When these coins are professionally graded by reputable services like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation (NGC) or the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), they can be assigned high grades like MS-65 or MS-66, which significantly increases their value. So, what exactly is the value of a 1975 Jefferson nickel in today's market? While most 1975 nickels in average circulated condition are only worth a few cents, a rare 1975 nickel, particularly one with a minting error and in uncirculated condition, can be worth much more. A double die error, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet coin from 1975 could fetch thousands of dollars, depending on the severity of the error and the condition of the coin. And now, for the exciting part, the big reveal. A particularly rare 1975 Jefferson nickel with a noticeable minting error and preserved in outstanding condition has been known to sell for an astonishing $76,000. Yes, you heard that right. $76,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Imagine finding a nickel like this in your coin jar or while digging through a box of old change. It's a reminder that in the world of numismatics, even the most unassuming coins can hold immense value, provided you know what to look for. Top 3, we have something truly special for all of you. An iconic coin that might be sitting quietly in your change jar, waiting to be discovered. You might not give it a second thought when you spot it, but the 1987 United States 5-cent coin, better known as the Jefferson nickel, holds a surprising potential that could make it worth much more than you think. Buckle up, because in this video, we're diving deep into the rarity of this coin, the unique errors that could make it worth a small fortune, and why you should pay close attention to any 1987 nickels you come across. Let's set the scene. The year is 1987. The world is experiencing significant cultural and political changes, and the United States Mint is busy producing millions of coins to meet the growing demands of a changing economy. Among these, the 1987 Jefferson nickel was struck, continuing the tradition of the nickel design that had been in place since 1938. While these coins were minted by the billions, many of them have faded into obscurity, circulating in everyday transactions without much attention. However, tucked away in some collections or hidden in circulation, there are specific 1987 nickels that have the potential to make coin collectors' jaws drop. What makes the 1987 Jefferson nickel so fascinating is not just its age, but its rarity and unique errors that can occur during the minting process. In fact, these factors are what make this seemingly humble coin worth far more than its face value. First off, let's talk about rarity. While millions of 1987 Jefferson nickels were produced, most of these coins saw years of circulation and, as a result, are not in the best condition. The majority of these coins have scratches, wear, and discoloration that make them worth only a few cents at best. But for a collector, the real treasure lies in finding one of these coins in pristine condition, a coin that hasn't been subjected to the harsh realities of everyday use. Coins that are in uncirculated or mint state condition are far rarer and more valuable. These coins retain all of their original luster, with sharp, clear details and no signs of wear. The more well-preserved the coin, the higher the price it can command. For coin enthusiasts, these uncirculated pieces are highly coveted because they represent the coin in its most original, untouched state. But what truly sets the 1987 Jefferson nickel apart from other coins is the possibility of minting errors. Minting errors happen when something goes wrong during the coin's production. These errors can range from slight misalignments to major defects, and they can make a coin unique. In the case of the 1987 Jefferson nickel, certain minting errors have made some of these coins exceptionally valuable. One of the most exciting types of minting errors is the double die. A double die occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, and the second strike is slightly misaligned. This results in a doubling effect that can be seen on various parts of the coin, such as the date or the inscription. In a 1987 Jefferson nickel, this could mean seeing doubling in the word Liberty or the date itself. Double die coins are extremely sought after by collectors because of their uniqueness, and they can fetch a premium at auctions. Another minting error that makes the 1987 Jefferson nickel particularly interesting is the off-center strike. This error happens when the coin is not properly centered during the minting process. As a result, part of the design is missing or appears off to one side. The more misaligned the coin, the more valuable it becomes, as it stands out from the thousands of perfectly centered coins that are produced each year. An off-center 1987 Jefferson nickel can be a great find for any coin collector because of its rarity and distinctive appearance. In addition to double die and off-center errors. Another type of minting issue to look out for is the clipped planchet. This happens when the blank metal disc, known as a planchet, used to make the coin is incorrectly cut, resulting in a portion of the coin being missing. These clipped coins are highly collectible because of their unusual shape and the fact that they don't look like your typical coin. A 1987 nickel with a clipped planchet would be a prized possession for any coin enthusiast, especially if it's in good condition. Now, let's talk about one more important aspect that could increase the value of your 1987 Jefferson nickel, proof coins. In 1987, the U.S. Mint also produced a special set of proof Jefferson nickels, which were struck with higher quality dies and finished with a mirrored surface. These coins were primarily intended for collectors, not for circulation, and they are much more finely crafted than regular circulation coins. Proof coins are often more valuable than their regular counterparts, especially if they are well preserved and have minimal imperfections. So, what kind of value are we talking about when it comes to the 1987 Jefferson nickel? Well, most of the coins you'll come across in circulation are not going to be worth more than their face value, 5 cents. However, the rare gems, the ones with minting errors and exceptional quality, can be worth much more. In fact, if you happen to come across a pristine 1987 Jefferson nickel with a double die error, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, you could be holding on to a coin worth $73,000. Yes, you heard it right. $73,000 for a single 5-cent coin. Imagine finding such a coin in your change, or maybe while browsing through old coins at a flea market or coin shop. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unassuming coins hold incredible potential. In conclusion, the 1987 Jefferson nickel is a coin that many collectors overlook, but if you know what to look for, it could be a gold mine. Keep an eye out for minting errors like double dies, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets, and make sure to check the condition of your coins. Who knows? You might just discover a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars. Top 4, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that many people overlook, the 2001 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. But what if I told you this seemingly ordinary coin could be worth far more than you think? Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover how a 5-cent piece from 2001 could potentially fetch an astonishing price on the market. Now, let's talk about the 2001 nickel. At first glance, it might look like any other modern-day coin. It's got the familiar design of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, the same face we've seen on nickels for decades. But there's more to this coin than meets the eye. This coin was issued as part of a regular series in the early 2000s. But what makes the 2001 nickel truly special is its rarity, potential minting errors, and the factors that influence its value. First, let's discuss how this coin ended up being rare. The United States Mint produces billions of coins each year, but most of them go into circulation. Over time, these coins accumulate wear and tear, and many become damaged or simply worn out, making them far less valuable than when they were first struck. However, a small percentage of these coins manage to avoid heavy circulation and remain in pristine, uncirculated condition. It's these uncirculated pieces that have the potential to be worth so much more than their face value. The 2001 nickel was produced in large quantities, but like most modern coins, finding one in perfect, uncirculated condition is quite rare. The key to its value lies in its condition. Coins that are well preserved, especially those that have been stored away in a safe place and have never been used in transactions, are highly sought after by collectors. If you've got a 2001 nickel in pristine condition, you're already holding a potential treasure. But that's not all. There's an even rarer factor that could make this coin worth a fortune: minting errors. As with any coin produced in a large scale, there's always the possibility of something going wrong during the manufacturing process. Sometimes, A coin might have a misprint or a mistake that makes it stand out from the rest. These errors are what collectors go wild for. They make the coin unique, and in the world of numismatics, uniqueness equals value. Some of the most sought-after errors for the 2001 nickel include double strikes, misaligned dies, or even coins with unusual features like off-center prints or faded details. These errors can happen due to a variety of issues at the mint, but the result is that these coins are incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. If you have a 2001 nickel with any of these characteristics, it could be worth far more than its original price. But let's not stop there. There are also certain variations of the 2001 nickel that are especially interesting to collectors. While the standard design features Thomas Jefferson on the front and Monticello on the reverse, some collectors are particularly interested in the different types of dies used during the minting process. In some cases, small details like the size or placement of the lettering can vary slightly from one coin to another, and these subtle differences can make a huge impact on a coin's value. When collectors spot these variations, it can send the price soaring. Now, we're getting to the most exciting part, the value of the 2001 nickel. While the standard coin might not be worth much beyond its face value of 5 cents, a perfectly preserved, error-free, or variant coin could fetch a much higher price. But what if I told you that some collectors have paid a jaw-dropping sum for these rare nickels? If you're lucky enough to have a 2001 nickel in pristine condition or one with an extraordinary minting error, it could be worth a massive $70,000. Yes, $70,000 for just one nickel. Imagine holding a small piece of American history in your hand, a coin that represents a moment in time and is now worth an incredible amount of money. If you're a coin collector or someone with an eye for hidden treasures, the 2001 5-cent coin could be the one you've been waiting for. So, to all the collectors out there, take a moment to check your coin collections. If you happen to stumble upon a 2001 nickel in mint condition, or one with a rare error, you could be holding on to a fortune. Whether you're just getting started in coin collecting or you're an experienced numismatist, this coin could make all the difference in your collection. Remember, when it comes to rare coins, it's all about condition, rarity, and sometimes even a little bit of luck. Keep an eye out for those minting errors, check your coins carefully, and who knows? You might just find yourself holding on to a true gem that could be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 5. We're about to talk about a coin that may seem like just another everyday piece of currency, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. That's right. Today we're diving into the 2004 United States 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel, and we're going to show you why this seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth a small fortune. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll discover exactly how much this little nickel could fetch in today's market. Let's start with the basics. The 2004 nickel was part of the Jefferson series and features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse. On the reverse, you'll find Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, depicted in great detail. This design has been a hallmark of the U.S. nickel for many years, but that's just the starting point. The real story behind this coin is in its rarity, condition, and any possible minting errors that might be lurking within your collection. Now, most people don't think twice about a 5-cent coin. It's easy to overlook, right? After all, it's just a nickel. But here's where things get interesting. The 2004 nickel, like many other modern coins, was minted in massive quantities. Millions upon millions were produced and entered circulation. So while there are plenty of them out there, only a small percentage have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition. Most of the coins that have been in circulation have been worn down, scratched, or damaged in some way, which lowers their value. But here's the kicker. Those few 2004 nickels that have survived in perfect condition? Well, they are considered quite rare. And rarity is a huge factor when it comes to coin collecting. When coins are well preserved, they stand out from the rest, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. So, if you happen to have a 2004 nickel in mint condition, meaning it hasn't been used in daily transactions and still looks fresh from the mint, that coin could be worth a lot more than you might expect. But wait, there's more. One of the things that makes the 2004 nickel especially interesting to collectors is the possibility of minting errors. Yes, mistakes happen during the minting process, and those mistakes can lead to coins that are highly sought after by collectors. Some of the errors you might find on the 2004 nickel include double strikes, misaligned dies, or even coins with parts of the design missing. These errors can happen for various reasons, such as issues with the machinery or the way the metal was struck, and they often result in a coin that's unlike any other. For example, Imagine a 2004 nickel with a double strike, a coin where the design was struck twice by the minting press. The result is a coin with a blurry or overlapping image, making it a unique piece that no other coin has. These types of errors are incredibly rare, which is why they're so valuable to collectors. If you happen to have a nickel like this, you could be holding on to something really special. Another minting error that can add value to a 2004 nickel is a misaligned die. In this case, the die used to strike the design onto the coin was slightly out of place, resulting in a coin where the design is shifted to one side. While it may seem like a small mistake, these misaligned dies can turn a regular coin into a highly collectible item, and it doesn't stop there. There are also some rare variants of the 2004 nickel that collectors are particularly drawn to. These variations could include small differences in the design or subtle changes in the composition of the metal used in the minting process. Even the tiniest change can make a coin significantly more valuable to a collector who's looking for that one special piece to complete their collection. Now, let's talk about value. So, you've got a 2004 nickel that's in perfect condition or maybe even one with a rare minting error. How much could it actually be worth? Well, if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare coins, you could be sitting on a small fortune. In fact, some of these 2004 nickels have been known to sell for an eye-popping $67,000. Yes, you heard that right, $67,000 for a single nickel. It's incredible to think that a coin worth just 5 cents when it was minted could be worth so much now. But that's the power of rarity, condition, and those unique minting errors that collectors crave. If you're a coin lover, this is exactly why it's important to pay attention to the details. That small, seemingly insignificant nickel might just be the hidden treasure you've been looking for. So, here's a tip for all the collectors out there. Take a moment to check your coin collections, especially if you have any 2004 nickels. Look for signs of minting errors, examine the condition carefully, and remember that sometimes, the smallest imperfections or the best preserved coins are the ones that bring the biggest rewards. Who knows? You might just find a coin that's worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. If you enjoyed learning about the 2004 United States nickel and want to dive deeper into the world of rare coins, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.